students, faculty, staff, and friends of Cottey College. We are assembled here tonight for Convocation, an annual celebration that ushers in a new academic year. Through this special gathering, we welcome our newest students. Students, I say to you that you have amazing potential. You have the potential to learn. You have the potential to lead, and you have the potential to truly make a difference in our world. This event is for you, and this event is about you. Tonight, we invite you to take part in some of the most treasured and long-lasting traditions of our institution. We are honored and we are delighted to welcome you to our campus. So to the friends and the family, our faculty, staff, and students joining us here in the auditorium or via live streaming, welcome to Convocation 2021. We will begin our evening's events with the invocation delivered by the Reverend Erica Sagake, Coordinator of Spiritual Life and Campus Diversity.
Let us bow our heads and pray. Gracious God, Spirit, Creator, Yahweh, and divine protector of our lives, thank you for all that you have allowed into our lives this past year. Our experiences with the good, along with the hard challenges, have reminded us how much we need you and rely on your presence, filling us every single day. Creator, give us discernment and insight beyond our years to understand your will. May each work in the classroom, on the field, in the residence halls, offices, and community continue in a positive way to the legacy we will leave to those who come after us. Help us resist distractions and worries, but to serve one another peacefully with love and compassion. Walk beside us as we question and welcome, as we challenge and invite, as we discover and understand, as we see, touch, taste, smell, and listen to the newness awaiting us in this new academic year, 2021 to 2022. Open our hearts to receive your words of wisdom from our honored speaker, Tatum Albertine. Touch her, use her words of wisdom and encouragement to pave way for growth in our new journeys. Touch our students and give them hope and courage to explore their new goals and new beginnings with confidence and trust in you. Grant that they may devote themselves to their studies and grow intellectually as good servant leaders. Remind them that every experience presents an opportunity to learn, grow, and cultivate their ethical leadership skills. Keep them calm and focused. Loving God, embrace us and shine your light in us. Touch us and in us and over us. Set your way before us so that we may reflect your peace and hope to a world that so desperately needs your presence and healing. Allow the fruits of love and unity to be evident in our lives. Your peace, joy, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, welcoming, and self-control. Creator Spirit, God, bless our President, Dr. Jan Wetzel, and her family. Be her light as she guides us. Give her strength and wisdom to lead us to the next phase of our journeys as a community. Amen.
Thank you, Dr. Sakake. Audience, you may be seated. I would now like to introduce the people who are sharing the platform with me. I will ask that you please hold your applause until everyone has been introduced. First, we have Tatum Albertine, class of 2012, speaker for this evening. At the end, we have Dr. Jill Compton, Associate Vice President of Academic Affairs. In the back row, Dr. Landon Adams, Vice President for Student Life. Dave Herringer, whom many of you know, Vice President for Enrollment Management, and Christy Ellis, Associate Vice President for Institutional Advancement. Dr. Erica Sagake, Coordinator of Spiritual Life and Campus Diversity, and our organist is Marcia Morton. Please welcome them. Since 1935, Cottey has practiced a meaningful and unique tradition called signing of the Cottey book. Now, the book itself, located over the way there, is made of leather and it has loose leaves. The book is very fragile, and the very first signatures from those early years are now growing quite pale. The signatures of you, our newest students, those gathered here with us this evening, will be added to those pages. As we open this 138th academic year at this historic institution, we celebrate the progress and the success Cottey College has enjoyed during our long, long history. We look forward to the opportunities that this school promises as we continue to define our future and create incredible futures for you, our students. 2021 represents more than a century of educating women here at Cottey College. In 1884, Vernon Seminary, later to be renamed Cottey College, opened its doors for the very first time through the true visionary efforts of Miss Virginia Alice Cottey. The Vernon Seminary was a day and boarding school for girls located on 6 acres in the middle of a cornfield. The city of Nevada did not yet have electricity, and the students traveled by horse-drawn carriages. And just a few years later, an epidemic of scarlet fever hit Nevada, requiring Cottey to be quarantined for 2 weeks. The college and its students, faculty, and staff prevailed against that epidemic, thanks to Virginia Alice Cottey's dedication to protecting the students of Cottey. Now, more than a century later, Cottey faces a similar challenge, this time the COVID-19 epidemic. The past year and a half have been difficult for all of us. Despite, however, the missed events, the personal losses, and the heartaches that we all have faced, students, a new chapter is opening for you. You made your way to Cottey, and we are absolutely thrilled that you are here. I am confident that through perseverance and by working together, we will not only triumph over these difficult circumstances, but we will come out on the other side stronger than ever. Throughout this challenge and the many more that we will no doubt face in our lifetimes, may we endeavor to be courageous and compassionate. Although Cottey College has undergone many changes since its inception, our mission has never changed. It is our mission to offer women the opportunity to receive an incredible education in a diverse and supportive environment, taught and guided by faculty and staff members who have dedicated their professional careers to the education of women and to their futures. Our newest students are now joining the ranks of all of those women who came before. We are proud to be a liberal arts and sciences institution, one that offers students the opportunity to assemble a broad foundation of knowledge that can be used in a wide spectrum of careers and across a lifetime. When we engage in the liberal arts and sciences, we learn to think critically, to think creatively, to examine the world around us and to use the scientific method. to communicate effectively, to question for ourselves rather than simply believe what someone else has told us to believe, to be able to reason, to be problem solvers, to make ethical decisions, and to adjust to a changing situation. All of these lessons will be valuable to our students, not only in the coming months and years, but for the many, many years to come. We are proud to offer outstanding degrees at both the baccalaureate and the associate levels, and we encourage you, our students, to become engaged with the college, to take part in the many co-curricular activities, and to make friends that will last a lifetime. We enthusiastically welcome our new students and our returning students. We also welcome our faculty and staff to the 21-22 academic year, for without them, Cottey would not be the model of women's education that it is. We wish everyone a healthy and a successful academic year. It is now with pleasure that I introduce our esteemed Convocation speaker for this evening, Ms. Tatum Abertine, who graduated from Cottey in 2012. When you have a moment, I encourage you to read about her many accomplishments in your program. Cottey is proud to recognize Tatum as an alumna because she represents so well the characteristics of a Cottey student: intelligence, leadership, determination, resilience, perseverance, confidence, and someone who is not afraid to use her voice for the betterment of others. Please welcome Ms. Tatum Abertine.
Wow, thank you, Dr. Weitzel, for that lovely introduction. It's so good to see so many students here. It's been a long time since I've been able to be back on the campus, and it's just a delight to see you. It means a great deal to me to come home to Cottey College and deliver this address and welcome you all to your new home, and it's a true honor. I normally work overseas, and it's actually rare for me to be in the United States. I spent the past 2 years in Myanmar, also known as Burma, and in Kenya and Egypt prior to that. I've worked for the US government, an American university, and now I support US business interests overseas through the American Chamber of Commerce in Myanmar. For me, reflecting on all this now, it feels a bit strange. It was only a decade ago I was sitting in your very seat, wondering if I would be able to keep up with the experience and the academics, really nervous about meeting new friends, my suite mates, and really worried about how my experience would be here at Cottey. I suspect that many of you are sitting here with complex feelings, transitions such as orientation. It's exciting, but it can also feel really overwhelming, especially after the past 18 months. This pandemic has impacted many of the things we hold dear: our ability to spend time with those who we love and the ability to live our life in a way that suits us. For some, we may have had family and friends fall sick, and the pandemic has pushed all of us to find a well of resilience to draw from. But now, here you are, demonstrating your commitment to your education. It is a new chapter. Potentially, you might be a bit unsure of what the next step might mean for you. And you may be completely tired from all of the tragedies that seem to pop up on your newsfeed day after day, and all of that is okay. I found that many of life's transitions require being of two minds, of occupying two places at the same time. Transitions also bring about those complex feelings I talked about. This is the nexus of expectations and reality, of what you want and what you end up getting. Sometimes this is really positive, sometimes it's not, and sometimes it's both. And this ambiguity is also okay. I am excited for each of you, however, as I believe that Cottey offers the opportunity to prepare yourself for these moments where you might find yourself occupying a nexus. Times when things aren't necessarily easy, but where persevering can become an end in itself. Cottey can be the safe space for you to explore nuance and new ideas and build the required internal courage to navigate complexity. I've relied on my own Cottey experience often while navigating life overseas. As the international students now living in Nevada will also tell you, you're out there may be certain parts of yourself that you have to suppress around others to feel palatable or feel safe. For myself and other expatriates, we live in this tension for years at a time, or sometimes a lifetime. And you can become more comfortable with this over time, but it's always a practice. Learning to live and thrive in a new place. Just when it's time to go home, for me, that's the United States, visit family, again, experience the strong sense of duality. I'll tell you a very short story about this from last year. At the end of January, I was required to deliver a keynote speech at my annual shareholders meeting. And for me, this is a really big freaking deal. And as the executive director of the American Chamber of Commerce in Myanmar representing US business interests, I'm accountable to my board of directors for the annual performance of our chamber, our finances, our membership, our operations, all that stuff. And this speech amounted to a very public defense of my performance for the year and my vision for the year that followed. Under the best of times, this is a really difficult speech to write and also give. I was just finishing my first year at the chamber, and we were in the midst of a once-in-a-generation pandemic. I was completely and utterly exhausted, and it seemed like there was no reprieve in sight. So for this fancy address at my shareholders meeting, I thought I would do what any sane person at their wits' end trying to survive a pandemic did. I wrote and delivered the most optimistic speech of all time, and I smiled the entire time. I raved about Myanmar's economic potential and the strength of the US-Myanmar economic partnership. I wanted this moment to signpost that the light would be at the end of the COVID tunnel. I wanted it real bad. But no matter how much I wanted this to be true, it just wasn't meant to be. A few hours after I delivered this impassioned speech on February 1, Burma's military deposed its democratically elected leader, Aung San Suu Kyi, in a night raid coup d'etat. And in a matter of hours, an entire country had been set back about 50 years. My forced optimism was suddenly struck by the reality of the situation on the ground. And it did not matter at all that I wanted things to be different. They were going to be what they were going to be. In a matter of days, there were mass protests all over the city. Hundreds of people were killed, and more continue to be killed today. Tanks and military officers were running amok, committing human rights abuses day after day. The economy completely crashed, and COVID infections multiplied. At this moment, I had to, again, occupy two worlds. As an American, I would never quite understand the utter devastation of the recent fall of the Burmese government, but I also had to witness it and live alongside it. I was, on one hand, completely relieved that I would be relatively safe as a foreigner, but also completely and utterly terrified of what might come from my Burmese friends and my cherished colleagues. As one navigates the nexus of two worlds, you might find yourself seeking solace and optimism, but a great amount of real work is in the discomfort, which is where you find the growth. Whether that might be walking in on your first day of class, concerned about keeping up, introducing yourself to your suite mates, and thinking about those new relationships and what they might look like. Or, as it may happen later in life, you find yourself in a far-off country navigating a political crisis. These times of transition, when you find yourself at a nexus of two worlds, you will draw upon the same wellspring. When I arrived at Cottey, all of us occupied this space. A convocation, like a cusp, each of us about to take on our journeys, both collectively and individually. The point is, we all started in the same place, just like you. And all of us were about to begin. So can we just take a minute to take that in and connect? Yeah. Can we reify the magnitude of this moment? You survived. We survived, partially at least, 18 months of a global pandemic. Yeah. You worked up the nerve to apply for college when the world felt very uncertain and weird. You might have white-knuckled your way through this. You took planes, trains, and automobiles and hightailed it to Nevada, Missouri, so not to miss this very moment. Let's take a deep breath on that. It is enough. It is completely enough. Zeroing in on Convocation reminded me of this particular lens of the nexus. We're in a sort of shared border. On one side, you have us, then there's you. We're all in the same room, though. Some of us have gone through the same rituals as signing the Cottey book. Some of you might be questioning your decisions, your schedule, your choice of residence hall. You may be really excited. Some of you might be completely terrified. Or some of you might be finding the utter humor and absurdity of this moment and what we've been through in the past year with this relentless virus, Zoom school, and all its associated challenges. Or all of the above. All of those answers are correct, because no one on this stage can tell you how to feel or design your lived experience through Cottey College. I do wish all of you an amazing experience at Cottey. As you embark on this transition in your life's path, I hope that your time here is everything that you want and expect and more. And I hope that you look back as fondly as I do. But if you do find yourself in a hard moment, this is your permission slip to step into that opportunity and to really feel the discomfort, to be absolutely gripped by your goals and your dreams, and to be disappointed in a grade or two or an entire course, to be both alone and together in your experience, and to really feel the depth of what it means to occupy a liminal space and feel the depth of the moment from where you start, and to ruminate on the concept of both and to learn from every single person around you. For all the dedicated faculty and staff and alumni who are here, I believe, we would be able to tell you that this place, for so many people, it's kind of like a BCAD kind of experience. There's kind of before Cottey and after Cottey. It's an awakening for so many, and I do hope it is for all of you. It's okay if it's hard. I want you to learn that nothing is your final form until you say it is. Use occupying two worlds as a framework for a reminder of where you're both coming from and going to. Again, it is okay if it's hard. I promise. All of you, I am sure, will be more.
Thank you so much to Tatum. Tatum, your stories, your experiences demonstrate to our new students what a Cottey education can do for them. We appreciate you. We appreciate your words of wisdom. Please, let's thank Tatum one more time. I will now ask Dr. Jill Compton to come to the microphone.
The signing of the Cottey Book is among the oldest and most cherished traditions at Cottey. Tonight, you will be joining the original 21 students who started this tradition in 1935. The Cottey Book is made of white leather. A gold cord holds the pages together. Once you have signed your name in the book, you will proceed across the stage where you will receive a daisy. This daisy symbolizes your membership in the Cottey community. In the not too distant future, you will be given another daisy at your graduation. Just as the cords bind each page of the Cottey Book together, traditions like these bind together past and future generations of Cottey students. Your signature in the Cottey Book is your formal admittance to the learning community that is Cottey College. You are pledging your commitment to the spirit of Cottey and your willingness to uphold its ideals and standards. When Virginia Alice Cottey founded Cottey College, she established these high standards, ideals, expectations, and principles for her school. Since then, each student has been guided by these ideals and principles. Over time, these ideals and principles became the honor system at Cottey. Tonight, when you sign the Cottey Book, you are acknowledging that you, like other students before you, will strive to live up to the values of the founder and to live up to the standards embedded in the honor code. Before you stand to pledge your intent to uphold the honor code, you should understand what it means. The Cottey College Honor Code means that each of you will do all in your power to maintain the intellectual integrity of the work you and other students undertake here at Cottey. Your obligations and responsibilities include those of understanding and observing all classroom policies and procedures regarding preparation of coursework, papers written, examinations taken, observing all library policies and procedures, and respecting your fellow students' rights and responsibilities regarding their academic work. The Honor Code also requires you to uphold all student life policies, including those in the residence halls. The Honor Code means that we trust one another, treat each other with respect. It means that each of us, as members of the Cottey learning community, make this solemn commitment to Cottey's Honor Code, and that any violation of the Honor Code provisions will be taken seriously, and consequences will be assigned as outlined in your student handbook. So I ask you to please refer to your handout in your program this evening. Please follow along as I read the beginning paragraphs of the Honor Code. I read these words as a representative of the Cottey community. The Honor Code of Cottey College defines and expresses the ethical spirit in which we, the members of the Cottey community, pursue the education of women. Recognizing that a community of learning cannot function well without respect for basic moral order, we also understand that the furthering of excellence requires still greater commitments. Thus, in addition to basic moral principles, we also affirm Virginia Alice Cottey's emphasis on the development of excellent personal character and the more specific ethical standards of the professional associations that oversee the conduct and quality of higher education. Please rise and join me in reciting aloud your pledge to uphold the honor code using the words printed in bold. We, the members of the Cottey College community, commit ourselves to act with personal responsibility, academic honesty and integrity of word, moral respect for persons and their property, ethical concern for the good of the college community and the broader society of humankind. These ideals, we aim for the ongoing fulfillment of the mission of this college as a center of higher humane learning. Now that you have stated your pledge to uphold the Cottey Honor Code, we will begin the signing of the Cottey Book tradition. Please come forward and provide your name card to Mr. Herringer. The students, you may sit down until your row is ready to exit. Anna Delamotte. Laurencia Batz. Mariah Aldrich. Dylan Cantu. Arena Brummett. Ariana Castillo. Lorena Ariano. Caitlin Damron. Michaela Iwasco. Taryn Dipman. Ashley Beeman. Allison Klaus. Stella Cunningham. Kylie Aiken. Madeline Brenneman. Darren Actonez. Grace Anderson. Emma Fitzgerald. Tirza Demir. Megan Bendick. Isabel Fairbanks. Shun Lele Yu. Lu Victoria Utundi Natsama. Finga Chow. Kayla Portwood. Sophia Mirabella. Chelsea Olson. Kathleen Honchell. Sarah Golden. Brea Brown. Trinice Hersey. Clara Anderson Cameron. Cassidy Bass. Emma Blaha. Brianne Ducharme. Tori Beasley. Dylan Andrews. Kaylee Bradley. Kendra Collins. Georgia Fraser. Anastasia Beard Julich. Got it. Emma-Ray DiStefano. Angelina Cruz. Genevieve Dodson. Michaela Faby. Audrey Novinger. Sarah Chapman. Ava Krohn. Madison Covell. Annalise Smalley. Amanda Claire Sokup. Staley Stolaby. Rachel Rogers. Sabrina Updraft. Erica Roberts. Zoe Tedrow. Raina Starkey. Destiny Swearingen. Natalie Vogel. Amaryllis Schrock. Ella Sapinosa. Alyssa Isla. Brooke Vickery. Mackenzie Wohlers. Lauren Wilson. Cordelia Taylor. Leslie Wilborn. Lisa Rojas. Julianne Rojas. Rebecca Wright. Anita Phelan. Mary Wright. Sharia Valley. Bianca Rashid. Haley Schrock. Alexandria Lay. Lauren Tinberg. Caitlin True. Aurora Zwilling. Maya White Briscoe. Caitlin Smith. Jada Valley. Elizabeth Wagoner. Laura Etheridge. Coda Feely. Cecilia Araujo. Elise Richardson. Romina Vargas Trujillo. Allison Ross. Caitlin White. Taylor Reckenmacher. Cache Gorake. Finn McAdams. Lucy Liu. Clara Meski. Cassie Wasson. Lydia Simkoski. Jessica Stew. Tessa Navarro. Aliana Holcomb. Lexi Pierce. Ireland Gates. Momoka Kawashima. Claire Hasty. Natalie Harlos. Sarah Montes de Oca Jimenez. Sarah Musson. Marina Pies. Natalie Ibarra. Jules Moore. Kitty Hoon. Isabella Hyatt Jackson. Alyssa Hollis. Emily Christine. Abigail Gaiman. Abigail Jarvis. Ariel Morgan. Mitch Neville. Elizabeth Morton. Josie Lloyd. Sophia Honan. Lily Pearson. Riley Hall. Michelle Phelps. Marina Mensel. Shelby Powell. Mackenzie Murdoch. Phoebe Hine. Hunter Myers. Chelsea Harper. Katie Gelson. Hannah Gray. Riley Ludiker.
Students, we are so pleased that you are here and thrilled that you have chosen Cottey College. Congratulations to our first-time students for joining the Cottey community with your pledge of commitment to our honor code. Before we adjourn, I'd like to thank everyone who is supporting our students by being here in the auditorium or viewing via live stream of this event. Following the conclusion of this event, refreshments will be available in the foyer. We ask that you be patient and be dismissed by rows in order to allow for more social distancing. After you receive your refreshments, please go on outside and enjoy them in the sculpture garden. We will conclude by listening to the words of the alma mater. You'll find them in our program, and I ask you to stand.
Hail to thee, our alma mater. Hail to thee, our Cottey dear. Our beacon bright, thy holy light shall protect us far and near. Thy daughters we shall be, and loyal to thee. We are proud to be a part of thee. Hail, Cottey, like a streamlet flowing onward to the ocean.